The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has a rich and complex history that stretches back centuries. Here's an overview of the major milestones and developments in the history of Saudi Arabia. Pre-Islamic Arabia. The Arabian Peninsula was inhabited by various tribes and communities, including the Nabateans, Himyarites, and Bedouins. These tribes engaged in trade and often clashed with each other. Rise of Islam. In the 7th century CE, the Prophet Muhammad founded Islam in the Arabian city of Mecca. Over time, Islam spread across the region, unifying the tribes and establishing a new religious and social order. The Rashidun Caliphate. After the death of Muhammad, his successors, known as the Caliphs, expanded the Islamic empire through military conquest. The Rashidun Caliphate, the first caliphate, extended its rule to the Arabian Peninsula. The Umayyad and Abbasid Caliphates. The Umayyad Caliphate succeeded the Rashidun Caliphate and established its capital in Damascus. Later, the Abbasid Caliphate overthrew the Umayyads and moved the capital to Baghdad. During these periods, the Arabian Peninsula was under the influence of the Caliphate but had limited central authority. The First Saudi State. In the 18th century, an Islamic revivalist movement led by Muhammad ibn Sa'd and Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab emerged in Central Arabia. They formed an alliance, with Ibn Sa'd providing political leadership and Ibn Abd al-Wahhab providing religious guidance. Together, they established the First Saudi State, with its capital in Diriyah, in 1744. Ottoman rule. The First Saudi State faced opposition from the Ottoman Empire, which sought to extend its control over the Arabian Peninsula. The Ottomans eventually defeated and destroyed Diriyah in 1818, bringing the First Saudi State to an end. The Second Saudi State. After the fall of Diriyah, the Al Saud family regrouped and established the Second Saudi State in 1824, with its capital in Riyadh. The Second Saudi State faced continued Ottoman hostility and conflicts with neighboring tribes. Expansion and conflict. Under the leadership of various Saudi rulers, the Second Saudi State expanded its territories and influence across the Arabian Peninsula. However, conflicts with the Ottoman Empire, regional powers, and local tribes continued to pose challenges. Formation of the kingdom. In 1932, Abdulaziz ibn Sa'd, commonly known as Ibn Sa'd, successfully consolidated various tribal regions under his rule and established the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He became the first king of Saudi Arabia and implemented political and social reforms, including the modernization of the country's infrastructure and legal system. Economic development. Following the discovery of oil in the 1930s, Saudi Arabia experienced significant economic growth and transformation. Oil revenues fueled the development of infrastructure, education, healthcare, and industry, propelling the country into a leading global player. Modernization and social changes. Over the years, Saudi Arabia has pursued various modernization initiatives while balancing its conservative religious traditions. Efforts to diversify the economy, increase women's rights, and open up to tourism have been implemented, bringing gradual social changes to the kingdom. Today, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is an influential nation in the Middle East and plays a prominent role in regional politics and international affairs. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has a rich and complex history that spans several centuries. Here is an overview of the key historical periods and events in the formation and development of the kingdom. Pre-Islamic Arabia. The Arabian Peninsula was inhabited by various tribes and civilizations before the advent of Islam. The region was known for its trading centers, such as Mecca and Medina, and the influence of various empires, including the Nabateans and the Roman Empire. The rise of Islam. In the early 7th century, the Prophet Muhammad, born in Mecca, began preaching a new monotheistic religion called Islam. By the time of his death in 632, much of Arabia had embraced Islam. Following Muhammad's death, his successors, known as caliphs, expanded Islamic rule across the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The Rashidun Caliphate. The first four caliphs after Muhammad's death, known as the Rashidun Caliphs, 632 to 661, extended Muslim control to the neighboring regions of Iraq, Syria, and Egypt. This marked the beginning of the Arab Muslim conquests. The Umayyad and Abbasid Caliphates, the Umayyad Caliphate, 661 to 750, and Abbasid Caliphate, 750-1258, succeeded the Rashidun Caliphate. These periods saw the capital of the Islamic world shift to Damascus and later Baghdad. The Arabian Peninsula remained under Islamic rule, but power was decentralized among various Arab tribes. The Ottoman Empire, in the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire, centered in present-day Turkey, expanded its control to parts of the Arabian Peninsula, including the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. The region remained under Ottoman rule until the early 20th century. The first Saudi state, in the 18th century, a religious leader named Muhammad ibn Sa'd formed an alliance with a scholar named Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab. Together, they established the first Saudi state, based on the principles of Wahhabi Islam. This state controlled much of Central Arabia until it was overthrown by the Ottoman Empire in 1818. The second Saudi state, in the early 19th century, the descendants of Muhammad ibn Sa'd re-established the Saudi state, known as the Second Saudi State. This state faced conflicts with the Ottoman Empire and rival Arabian tribes. In 1891, the Second Saudi State was defeated by the Al-Rashid dynasty and came to an end. The Third Saudi State, in 1902, Abdulaziz ibn Sa'd, a descendant of Muhammad ibn Sa'd, recaptured Riyadh and initiated the establishment of the Third Saudi State. With the help of his followers, known as the Ikhwan, Ibn Sa'd gradually expanded his control over much of the Arabian Peninsula, defeating local rulers and tribes. By 1932, Ibn Sa'd declared the unified Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with himself as the king. Modern Saudi Arabia, under the leadership of King Abdulaziz, Saudi Arabia witnessed significant modernization and development. The discovery of vast oil reserves in the late 1930s transformed the country's economy and led to increased international influence. King Abdulaziz ruled until his death in 1953, after which his sons ascended to the throne in succession. Saudi Arabia has since played a prominent role in regional and international affairs. It has experienced periods of economic prosperity, social change, and political challenges. The country continues to be governed as an absolute monarchy, with King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud currently serving as the monarch. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, commonly known as Saudi Arabia,